Dr. Craig Bythewood, someone who has dedicated his life to understanding finance, and he is here for a talk with the finance doctor. That means ask your questions. That means he's here to have a conversation with us. Dr. Craig Bythewood, are you on the call?
Yes, I am, Tasha M. Dyer. How is everyone doing this evening?
Outstanding, and the call is officially yours.
I appreciate that. So let me jump right into a talk with the finance doctor and tell this story. Today, as in Thursday afternoon, I am the assistant coach for my daughter's high school basketball team, Wharton Wildcats. And so today was conditioning. When we finished doing our conditioning, we were all standing outside, and where they work out is adjacent to where the boys' football team practices. So they were waiting on their rides, and there was this tall, good-looking young man that I had never met that was standing out there. And he and my oldest daughter began to kind of go at each other jokingly, telling jokes and calling each other names and all that kind of thing. So standing there with my ninth grader, and I say something to the young man, and then I ask him, "What position do you play?" And he said, "I'm the quarterback." And it was interesting to me because when he said that, it kind of changed the way I looked at him a little bit, because the quarterback is a very important position on the team. But it also, I looked at my ninth grader, and my ninth grader kind of went, "Hmm." So I just thought it was very interesting that, having never had a conversation with either of them about what a quarterback is and what it means to a team, they saw something different in him because he played the position on the team of quarterback. So I was thinking about that while I was listening to our training, and I posed this question. Yes, the quarterback is a very important position on the team, but would a quarterback be able to excel by themselves? Would a quarterback be able to be an effective player if the other 10 players on the field at the time sucked? Of course, the answer is no. That quarterback is an important position, but in order for the team to do well, everyone has to play their role, and all those roles are important, even though I'm admitting that the quarterback may be a little bit more important. And maybe the quarterback isn't more important. Maybe the quarterback is just up front. And what made me think about that was Tasha's comment. Tasha said, that's why I don't say much. I sit in the background and I just listen. I just observe. Well, the person that listens and observes has to play a role. Have we ever said, "Let me turn the call back over to Tasha," and she wasn't ready? Never. Every time she's like, "Okay, let's transition." That's what a great host does. So my point to you is this. It really doesn't matter what position you play. What matters is that you are part of a team that is doing something and that is really growing in terms of our ability to be able to master this skill of investing in a $5.3 trillion industry. And so here's something else I'd like to pose. One of the comments that was made, and to be frank, I don't remember exactly who made the comment, but I just don't go as fast as you do. Let's suppose that we became so pimponomically sound that we're able to earn enough money to pay our mortgage 3 months in advance, to pay our rent 3 months in advance. If we could do that, and let's suppose we took that check and we took it to our mortgage company, or we took it to our landlord. When we physically look at that check, that's 3 months ahead, and we hand it to the individual that's accepting our payment, and they say, "Thank you, let me write you a receipt." At any point, would any of them ask, Well, how long did it take you to load in the information that you loaded in to earn the investment that you were able to pay me 3 months in advance? Of course not. No one would care how long it took you to enter the numbers. All they would care about is you are rolling in enough abundance, in enough financial confidence, in enough economic empowerment that you can you can pay a major bill 3 months in advance. I'm pausing on purpose because I want you to just think about that. Just think about the way the human brain works. See, sometimes the human brain does not realize that we have a natural tendency to play it safe. The ego is designed to talk you out of doing big things. Because, they say the devil always is more comfortable than us exploring something new. So all I'm trying to say is this. There are only two choices right now if you are a member of IML. Only two. Choice one, don't plug into the phone calls. Choice two, plug into the phone calls. You have already won because you've decided that this is an important enough skill that I need to be on the calls. So I could care less how long it takes you to understand what the candlesticks mean. I could care less how long it takes you to enter the information because you're present. You're doing it. Let's just go all the way there. Those same two daughters I just referenced were driving home and something comes up where my oldest daughter asked me to do something. And I say, you know what? I was supposed to do that for you, baby, but I forgot. I'll do it tomorrow. So she got a little attitude with me. Understandably, it was my fault. Rolled her little eyes. And my ninth grader said, maybe you should be appreciative because at least dad is there. Dad's dad wasn't there. Mom's dad wasn't there. She started naming people in their neighborhood who don't have dads. So I'm just saying, you're present. You're there. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake. Because what I said a couple of talk with the finance doctors ago is the mistake is where you learn how to do it. It's by design. Think about it. If you came in here and you just got every trade and got everything down, you wouldn't have any range. You wouldn't be able to teach the skill. You wouldn't be able to say to your children, okay, now be careful because when this happens, you want to make sure you do this because you got it right every time. We are exactly where we are supposed to be. Don't let your ego trick you into thinking you have to compare yourself to the quarterback. You are an important part of this team. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. And it isn't even about this team. What it's really about is the team around you. Each one of us represents a circle of individuals who can change the paradigm of wealth and abundance because we're going to teach them how to do foreign exchange. So who cares whether it takes you 2 months, 5 months, or 9 months to learn it? Either way, this is going to be something that's passed on for generations. So when your great-grandchildren erect a statue on one of their buildings that they own because great-grandma started this with her foreign exchange scholarship program, are they going to say at the ceremony, you know, it took grandma 9 months to master this, it should have taken her 4. You know, grandma didn't even know what a pip was when she first started. No, they're not going to say that. They're going to thank you because you were present and you were wise enough to plug into a call that not everybody else has made a decision to do. And now she's taught us this valuable skill. And now we own buildings with our name on them. Thank you, Grandma, for hanging on in there on Tuesday night and Thursday night and going through the process exactly the way you were supposed to. So I'd like to say something to Nika. Is Nika on the call? Let me check real quick to make sure that she's on the call.
No, she's not.
She's not. Okay, well, I will
Yeah, I think
save
her
that.
line kept jumping in and out.
Okay. If she comes back, I'll make that comment and I'll just come back to it. So, does anyone want to respond to what I have said to you thus far? A question, a comment, a testimony? Anyone want to respond to what I have just said? And Tasha, let me thank you for your honesty. Whether you realize it or not, that speech that you gave really helped. I felt some people relaxing their shoulders when you were able to express to them how you felt when you first started. And hopefully they also will recognize how blessed they are, that their learning curve will be quicker than yours was because we have this infrastructure in place that's set to a greater degree than it was when you started. So literally you went through that, expressed it so that the people on this call can feel a little bit better about their situation. So on Tuesday, I said that we were going to make sure that we address foreign exchange first, but that we also recognize that our foreign exchange and our ability to be able to earn pips and our ability to be able to invest in this foreign exchange market is only one slice of our entire economic pie. So we want to make sure in our effort to be our own bank that we continue to talk about all of the skills that will help us to truly be our own bank. You know, I was a consultant for a bank for about 3 years, and I was amazed at how many things that banks do that you may not be aware of. So that whole teller function and me taking your deposits and giving out checking accounts, that's called retail banking. And most of the large banks in our country, retail banking only accounts for about 9% of their total activity. So banks do everything. So if we're going to be our own bank, we need to do everything. So I want to have a very quick but powerful conversation about budgeting. Now, a few Talk with the Finance Doctors ago, I broke down a financial statement called the income statement. If you missed that, want me to do it in the future, I'll gladly do it. But for tonight's purposes, I just want to briefly introduce the fact that I talked about an income statement. In your company, they may call it a profit and loss or P&L. It's basically a document that says, how did you do over this time period? How did you do this year? How did you do this quarter? Let's look at the money coming in. Let's look at the money going out. Let's pay our taxes. Let's pay our interest. Let's look at what's left over. We call that the bottom line. So when I talked about that, I gave this analogy, which I'm going to give again. I say to individuals that come to my paid financial planning sessions, I say, companies focus on the bottom line meaning net income, net profit, whatever you want to call it. But people focus on the top line meaning sales, revenue, the total amount that you've collected before you subtract out your expenses, your gross. We all understand gross. So I say again, companies focus on the bottom line and people focus on the top line. So I say, okay, I'll prove it. And what I do is I take 2 white index cards and I put them on the chair of every single financial seminar I've ever done. And after I make this point I just made about income statements, I say to them, take the first white index card, take the pen that's next to it, and write down how much you made last year. They all fill it out. They pass them up. Sometimes I read them off. So bottom line is, the first index card, write down how much you made last year. I've been doing this exercise since I was maybe a year out of graduate school. So that means I've been doing this for 24 years. So then I say, okay, take the second index card, audience, and write down how much you spent last year. In 24 years of doing that technique, in financial seminars, audiences all over the country, different races, different ages. No one person ever, no one has ever filled out the second card. How much money do you make? Oh, how much did you spend? Companies focus on the bottom line. People focus on the top line. So if we're going to walk in economic excellence, we have to understand that there's a very easy fix to that, and it's called budgeting. It is literally the easiest component of personal finance, but very few people do it. What we do is we get an image in our mind of how much we think we can afford based on how much we make, and we just start spending. I remember in the old days, my mom used to use a checkbook. And the checkbook, yes, I'm old, and the checkbook had a little register. So after she'd write a check, she'd fold it over so she could use the back of the checkbook as a cushion, and then she would write down what she wrote. So there was a record, and you could see how much money was being spent. We don't do that anymore because everything's technological. Now, I get it that people check their bank balance, so that makes sense. But I'm talking about one step before that. One step before you use the app to check the online bank, I'm asking for you to just sit down and decide, this is how much I'm spending. If I had a nickel for every time I have a financial planning client and I say to them, well, how much do you spend on this? Well, how much do you spend on it? Well, how much does that cost? So budgeting is so important because it just puts you in a position where you're accountable. And sometimes when you look at how much you're spending on a certain line item, it just makes you make decisions just quick. I had no idea I was spending that much on lunch. I hear that all the time. I had no idea I was spending that much on this particular activity. Now, hear me. I want you to spend. I want you to do what you want to do. I want you to enjoy your life. We only go around in this life once. So get it. Do what you have to do. My point is, know what it is that you're doing. So budgeting is just that easy. Now, when I talk about budgeting in audiences where people have on blazers and dresses, everyone wants to know, well, which medium should we use and what software? And I'll tell you the truth, it does not matter if you do it on a napkin. What matters is that you write it down. What matters is that you know the answer to that question. So you can use an advanced software if you want. You can write it on a paper towel with a Sharpie. The bottom line is, if someone asks you, or when you ask yourself, because it's really nobody's business, but when you ask yourself, how much did I spend last month? How much did I spend last year? You should know the answer. So yes, we should be learning how to invest in foreign exchange. We should be putting a large amount of premium on this, but we also want to make sure that we understand the basics. So that's our first B for tonight, budgeting. Actually, there are 3 B's tonight because the first B was just be where you are. We don't have to be anxious about where we are in this process. So the first B, be where you are. The second B, budgeting. Now the third B, banking. Now, the topic of banking, I literally could address it for 3 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours. I could do a year's worth of talk with the finance doctors about banking because they're just that dynamic. But I want to talk about the banking function that you and I deal with on a daily basis. So basically, let me start with this. The definition of a bank is an organization that takes deposits, pays interest on the deposits, then makes loans with that money, then charges a higher interest on the loans, and the difference is their profit. That is the definition of a bank. I'm a nerd, so I have banking textbooks in my on my big bookshelf. If I go and get them right now and I open up to chapter 1, it will say what I just said. The definition of a bank is an organization that takes deposits and takes that money and uses it to make loans. They pay a particular amount of interest on the deposits, and then they charge a higher interest on the loans. That's how they make money. Big bank take little bank. Now, would any of you, Tasha gave an excellent analogy earlier today about going to college and testing into math. That just really hit the nail on the head. Great analogy. So would any of you go to school, go to college, go to graduate school, pay, or even if you're on scholarship, would you put your time and energy into a degree and then let your job tell you, you know what? We like what you're doing. We're down with your degree. We like your attributes, but we decide we're not going to pay you. How many of you would go for that? Of course, none of you. We understand the model. The model is I give you my time, I give you my talent, I give you my blood, sweat, and tears, and in return, you pay me a compensation. That's how it works. I've always found it very interesting that we're so aggressive about making sure that our jobs pay us, but yet we don't hold banks to the same standard. Let me do it again. The definition of a bank is an organization that takes deposits, pays interest on the deposits, then takes that money, loans it out, and charges higher interest on the loans, and they make money off of the difference between the money they're charging on the loans and the money they're paying on the deposits, the money they're paying on the deposits, the money they're paying on the deposits. I wonder how many of you have never really thought about the fact that banks are so smooth and so slick that they get out of having to pay us. So let's back up for a second. Who provides the banks the deposits? We do. We're the ones who give them, we're the depositors. We deposit our money in the bank, and the definition on the textbook, on the shelves, on my bookshelves say they're supposed to pay us interest, but they're not paying us interest. You know why they're not paying interest? Because banks have very smoothly created a scenario where you and I focus on the verb, not the noun, focus on the verb, not the noun, where you and I keep our money in checking accounts. We keep our money in checking accounts. I'm not anti-checking account. I'm pro you understanding that we keep our money in checking accounts. Think about it. The first time you signed up for direct deposit, I'm old enough to remember when there was no such thing as direct deposit. And when companies started inventing direct deposits, banks would go to local employers and they would provide the forms. The bank said, hey, we'll give you these forms for this new thing we got going on called direct deposit. And the way the form is set up, and it's still set up that way to this day, it will say name, address, social security number, and what next? Checking account number. I've even had jobs where I want to put my direct deposit into my savings account so I can get the interest that banks owe me, and they've told me we're not allowed to do that. Initially, there was no savings account written on the form, only checking account. So of course the bank wants me to put my money in a checking account, because think about it. If they put the money in the checking account, they don't have to pay. The definition of a bank is an organization that takes deposits, pays interest on the deposits, then turns around and loans that money out, charges a higher interest rate. They make money off the difference. Well, of course they're making money off the difference, because they're not even paying us. Now, at least one person is thinking, well, I have interest-free checking. Now, I have free checking, or I get paid interest on my checking. Well, if you get paid interest on your checking, you have to put a very large minimum in it, and you have to keep it there. Could you imagine you coming to me and saying, hey, I just got a job and I don't have to pay them? That's what free checking is. Imagine you coming to me and say, hey, I just got a new job, and as long as I keep a certain amount of money, in the job, then they'll pay me. Come on. The definition says they pay interest on depositors. Now, let me pause for a second. I am not in any way anti-bank. I'm pro-household. I'm pro you understanding how this works and putting yourself in a position where A, you can be your own bank and ethically put yourself in a position to make the maximum amount of dollars for your family, and B, understand the way banks operate so you can put yourself in the best position. I'm being led right now to tell another story about my daughters. I have 3 biological daughters, senior, 9th grade, 8th grade. They're attractive young ladies, wouldn't have it any other way. And guys, people always come to me and say, hey, you need shotguns. You need shotguns. Oh, we need 3 shotguns. And I say, no, I don't. You know why I take that position? Let me tell you why. Because in my 51 years of life, not one time has any woman's father ever had an influence on anything that I've ever experienced with a woman. Let me say it again. No woman's father has ever had any impact whatsoever on any experience I've had with a woman. But plenty of women have had an impact on the experience that I will have with them. They're the gatekeepers. They are the ones who decide what we do, how we do it, whether we do it, for how long we do it. So rather than me try to aggressively have a shotgun to take some control that doesn't exist, I pour into my girls and let them understand the way it works. This is how boys think. This is what they say. When they say this, they mean that. When they do this, it means that. So by me letting them understand how the game is played, they're now going to be in a better position to take the right action. That's exactly what I'm doing with you right now. I just want you to know how the game is being played. I want you to understand the game that banks play. And if you understand the way banks play games, you put yourself in a better position to make the right move, to put yourself in a decision that will benefit you. So, bottom line, they convince us to keep our money in checking accounts. I've never been to the bank with any of you. I've never been to the bank with any of you. But I know when you walk in the bank, the first thing the teller says to you is that going into checking? They're trained to say that. They're trained to encourage you to put the money in checking because then they don't have to pay you. Quick analogy. I was teaching this subject in Sarasota, Florida some years ago. And there were some individuals in the audience that were kind of giving me a hard time. So I wanted to find a way to visually place this into perspective so they would understand. So it was a hotel, room where you give seminars in hotels. And you know how they have those pitchers of water. So what I did was I took a pitcher of water and I put it in the middle of the table. And I said, this is your checking account. Pitcher of water, checking account. Pitcher of water, checking account. Then I took a glass that was full of water and said, this represents your salary. Glass full of water, salary. Then I took an empty glass and said, this represents your bills. Empty glass, bills. So pitcher of water, checking account. Glass full of water, salary. Empty glass, bills. So I asked the group, how many times do you get paid in a year? They said 26. So 26 times I took the salary, poured it into the pitcher. Took the pitcher, poured it into the empty glass. Took the salary, poured it into the checking account. Took the checking account, poured it into the bills. When I finished doing that 26 times, there was water all over the table. So I asked them, why is there water on the table? And after I got a couple of smart alecky answers, someone said, exact words, the reason why you have spillage on the table is because you use the same container to pour water in as you did to pour water out. You use the same container to pour water in as you did to pour water out. And I said, exactly. Isn't that what we do with our checking accounts? Aren't we constantly pouring money in and constantly pouring money out at the same time of the same container? So let me tell you the economic spillage that you and I are leaving on the table because we use the checking account as the same container to pour money in as we do to pour money out. The average annual amount collected by banks for bounced check fees, the average annual amount collected by banks for bounced check fees. Would you agree that this answer I'm about to give you represents what we leave on the table because we keep our money in checking accounts? Number one, we don't get paid. And number two, we leave a lot on the table based on using the same container to pour money in as you do to pour money out. The answer is $6 billion. $6 billion a year is collected by banks for bounced check fees. So what's your point? My point is very simple. By understanding the way the game is played, by understanding the way things are set up, we can do our banking in a whole new way. I direct deposit just like everybody else. But when I direct deposit, I put it into something that pays interest. Whether it's a savings account, whether it's a money market mutual fund, which I'll talk about next week, whether it's a low minimum money market account, just something that pays interest. Now, some of you may be thinking, oh, but the interest rates are so small. They are. But am I the only one that ever had a job that we thought paid too little, but we still went? Banks are supposed to pay us. So if we make them accountable for paying us and you multiply that payment that you get in that year by the 50, 60, 70 years you're working, that's a lot of money that you are not leaving on the table. Questions, comments, testimonies about our 3 B's. Be where you are, budgeting, and banking. Okay, that is all I have for tonight, so I will turn it back over to our illustrious hostess.
Well, thank you so very much. That was phenomenal. And what I want to do right now is I just want to share some information because we have to. I won't be before you long, but just like you said, we literally have to stop leaving spillage on the table. So why is it? Give me a second. I want to get this to pull up. Just 1 second here. Here we go. So we can stop leaving spillage on the table. Now, the platform to do that and the company that we're talking about, our BYOB, Be Your Own Bank, is what we are here to do. But the platform, the company, and what we're utilizing is iMarkets Live. Now, what is iMarkets Live? What do we do? It's the power of trading. Now, we do that with the foreign exchange market. With the foreign exchange market, we are trading we're in the largest financial market in the world, which is trading at $5.3 trillion a day. Okay, that is 24 hours and 5 days a week. Then with the addition of the cryptocurrency, this is the digital marketplace. The digital marketplace that allows you, that increases your currency, that increases the marketplace to 11 trillion a day. And it allows you now to trade 7 days a week. That's phenomenal. Now, everything rises and falls on leadership. We talked about education tonight, and this is an educational platform. Now, our CEO, he has a heartbeat for people. And I just want to highlight something. He's got over 25 plus years of trading experience. He's made millions of dollars. He's helped others make money. But what he did is he's put together a platform of leadership. The company's 5 years old, and he put together a platform of leadership to where he wanted to make this affordable to everyone. We just heard that the finance doctor said we've got to stop leaving that spillage on the table. Now, only someone with a heartbeat for people would want to do that. So he created iMarkets Live to where we now can educate ourselves and we can gain a skill set that no one can ever take from us. So when you talk about leadership, he is still trading. He is still teaching. He's still heavily involved in our educational platform and in this process, on top of the leadership that we have with us now. So we have the likes of Mr. Gerald D. Rogers, who is our coach and our mentor. And then we have Pastor Isaac Bird, who is helping us through the trading process as well, who was the host at Call on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. And then we have Dr. Craig Bythewood, who we just heard from. This is a phenomenal leadership, and this is who we have at our disposal. And then we have our iMarkets Live Academy. In our academy, this is where we go and we begin our education process. In this educational platform and in this process, it doesn't matter what you've already experienced or what you already know or where you begin, because it is for everyone. So whether you are familiar with the foreign exchange market or whether you're new and unfamiliar with it, this academy is for everyone. Now, iMarkets Live TV, as you can see, there's nearly 1,000 hours a month. So the same way we pull together as a team to where we come together and you can learn and you can jump in live sessions. Now take that to another level, because they have live trading sessions with expert traders. Okay, it's in languages. We're in 120 countries, so you get to interact in these live sessions. So let's say you don't make a session, it's also recorded, so we have the recordings available to you as well. And then the tools that we utilize, we have the tools such as the harmonic scanner. Now what this harmonic scanner does is it scans the market for entry and exit points. It scans the markets for precision. These are the same type of information that the expert used, but this is precise to iMarkets Live. Now, it gives you your entry points, it gives you your exit points, it gives you your take profit. It gives you up to a 90% accuracy rate. So all you have to do is get on, log in, and enter your trades. So this is pivotal information, and it helps you with your entries, your risk, and your targets. Now, the web analyzer. What the web analyzer does is going to scan the market, and this is real time. Now, this is where different trading strategies come in. This is where we have different personalities, so we have different trading strategies. So this is going to work with you and your personality. But what the web analyzer does is it helps you with your precise entry points, because that entry point is important. So it's going to help you with that. And when you enter the market, it is going to help you with your profits. That's what that web analyzer does. You were on the call this evening. I know you kept hearing that cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. That was an opportunity to catch some pips and to make some money. Now, what did we just talk about with the CEO? Everything rises and falls on leadership. Okay, our CEO, Swing Trades, he is still sending out trade alerts. He sends these out once a week. And then with our night owl, what he does is on Sunday evenings, he still hosts a call where he's still trading. So you have opportunity to get on his calls on Sunday nights. And then swipe trades. You still can earn while you learn. You get to earn while you learn. So as you're going through the education platform, as you're going through this process, you're going to get alerts. You're going to get alerts. And all you have to do is copy and paste, and you put those trades in. And these trades are coming from the expert traders. You look at those trades, they give you all the analysis as well, and you get to make the decision, I'm going to put this trade in. And you're taking a trade with the experts. You're taking a trade right along with them. So you're going through the academy, you're learning the process, but you're also being able to trade with them. And then we have the swipe coin. What is the swipe coin? The swipe coin works just like the swipe trades, except this is for the cryptocurrency market. Now, these are our packages. You can start your educational platform today. What do you get? You get your IML Academy, you get your iMarkets Live TV, you get your harmonic scanner, and you get your swing trades and your night owl sessions. You get all of that for $195 a month to get started, for $195 and $145 a month, plus taxes and fees. Now, You need your additional add-ons with your swipe trades for an additional $15, your web analyzer for an additional $15, but you can also take advantage of the swipe coin for an additional $99. Now, what I do want to highlight is the opportunity for 2 and free. You have an opportunity to waive your monthly access. What do? Is you get enrolled and you get your unique referral link. And then you want to share this information with 2 individuals who want to also learn a new skill set and begin multiplying their money, who want to be their own bank. You want to share this information with them. Now, you already sharing information for free. Where did you get your hair done? What movie did you see last week? We share information all the time. So you're already sharing information. The only difference now is you're sharing information on how you can become your own bank. And when you do that, you get your access, you get your product access for free. Now, what I want to share with you right now is completely optional. And understand what I mean optional. Up until this point, the information that I have shared has been for everyone. You have the opportunity to become your own bank, which means that you learn a new skill set. You learn how to multiply your money and become your own bank. That is available to everyone. Now, there is an additional side to this, which is independent business owner. You have the option, and I say again, the option to begin earning residual income in addition to your trading income. Is so you can make a decision tonight that you also want to earn residual income. Now, when you make that decision, you begin earning team builder bonuses. So as you share this information, when you share it, you begin earning team builder bonuses anywhere from $5 to $35. Now, your rank achievements, as you share this information, you grow a team. You share with 3 customers. You enroll 3 customers. You're going to begin earning $150 a month residually. That position is a platinum 150, $150 a month residually. Now, before you say, you know what, that's not a lot of money, I want you to think about something. We talked about banks tonight on this call. How much money do you have to have in that bank account in order for you to receive $150 a month residually? Over $100,000 a month to receive $150 a month residually. So that is a lot. $150 residual is a lot of money. And understand that has absolutely nothing to do with your trading income. Now, you share this information. You have 12 active customers within your organization. You are now a Platinum 600. At the rank achievement of Platinum 600, you are earning $600 a month residually. And then 30 customers in your organization, that is a Platinum 1000. At the position of Platinum 1000, you are earning $1,000 a month residually. There are other positions, just Chairman 10. Chairman 10, you see you have 500 customers in your organization. 500 customers in your organization, and you are earning weekly to $2,500 a week. You can see, there are many positions that are available to you to become your own bank. What I want to do right now is I want to share the opportunity with you to get back with the person that invited you out. As we begin to close out, I always want to highlight, and I want to let you know there are always 3 types of people that are on this call. The first type of a person says, you know what, as I was hearing Dr. Bythewood talk about all the information, and I saw what this opportunity was, you know what, I'm ready. I'm ready to become my own bank. And to you, I say, get back with the person that invited you out. Get back with the person that invited you out, get enrolled, and we will help you and show you what you need to do to begin educating yourself to become your own bank. The second person, you have a few questions. And if you have a few questions, get them answered by someone who is actively trading. Get your questions answered by someone that is here and is active and is on this call. We will get your questions answered and we will get you enrolled. And the third person that is on this call says, you know what, I'm also ready to begin trading. I want to become my own bank, but I also want to learn how to begin earning residual income. And to you, I tell you to get back to the person that invited you out. We will get you enrolled and we will get you set up and we will show you exactly the steps you need to take to do both, to where you can become your own bank and you can also begin earning residual income. So with that being said, get back with the person that invited you out. Let them know what number you are. You all have a blessed evening, and we look forward to working with each and every last one of you all. I look forward to your success and you becoming your own bank. Have a blessed evening, and this will officially conclude this call.